All right.
All right, we are
All right.
live,
Good
baby.
morning, fantasy. Let's get it.
Good
What's
morning, fantasy.
morning, everybody?
Yeah,
Happy
what's good?
playoffs.
Happy playoffs, baby. Good morning, fantasy.
Let's
The crew
go.
is back. Everybody, it's your boy TG.
It's your
It's your
boy
boy
Jordan.
Joel. Let's get
You
it.
know what I'm saying? But we are here. It's week 14, my bros. Week 14. The playoffs are here. It's a big Sunday for us today,
Mm-hmm.
man. We're hella scoreboard watching. Yeah, man. I've been literally ready for this day since Monday. You know what I'm saying? Or Tuesday, because we had a Tuesday game or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? But bro, let's get this thing going. We got about an hour before the game starts, so let's get right into it. Jordan, shoot us on our get us started on our agenda, what we got, and let's get rolling, bros.
Okay, so today we're going to give you guys a little weather update and injury report, and Tony's going to lead us off with that. We'll go into our start and sits of the week. Each of us will kind of give you an elaboration on what we think there. We're going to give you our boom players of the week. And then we're going to go into defensive players and who we think is going to be our top defensive players. You know, that's kind of going to put us over the edge as we have defensive players in our fantasy league.
100%.
Yeah, 100. Well, cool, bros. Let's get it going, man. First thing we'll start off with is injury updates. I'll go there. We'll start there first.
You kick us off with injuries, and then we'll go into the weather report, bro.
Cool, awesome. So injury updates just quickly for everybody, because I know some leagues like Yahoo just finally put some of these players out, but Brandon Cooks has been ruled out. He was just questionable all morning, but he's out. So make sure you got Cooks out of your start lineup. I know a lot of people flex him. McCaffrey's out. Apparently he tweaked his quad in practice, so he's out, which is going to lead us to talk about Mike Davis later.
That's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, man. So McCaffrey's out again, and then we got Josh Jacobs. A lot of people picked up his backup. Josh Jacobs apparently is playing today, y'all. So if you got Josh Jacobs on your bench, I don't know. Maybe you keep him there. We'll talk about that later, but he's apparently ready to play. DeAndre Swift is also scheduled to play today. He's been gone for a couple weeks, and there's been a lot of news around him that apparently this concussion really fucked him up. Apparently, like he was feeling sick a little bit. Like it was weird. He was really having some really tough concussion, like the post concussion syndrome or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently he's ready to play. But that's why he was out 2 weeks. And then we got Julio Jones is out. So, and that one isn't a secret. He's been pretty much ruled out for a couple days now. But Julio Jones out, which obviously gets us to talk about Calvin Ridley and pretty much the rest of that offense. Who else am I missing, y'all? I think that's pretty much it. That's the main names, right? That pretty much are.
Yeah, those are the main ones that people will be going start. Yeah.
All right, cool, awesome. That works. Perfect. So, that's that, and then we got.
I don't think our live's working.
On which one? On Facebook?
Yeah.
On Facebook. Let's see. Yeah, she
out right now. I'm just trying to check us out, and it doesn't seem like it's working.
On Facebook, we're on YouTube, which is good.
We live.
I'm just on them. Let's go.
Yeah, we're good. Awesome. Appreciate it, y'all. We just have to make sure everything is on the up and up. Next thing I want to look at real quick, y'all, just real quick, weather. Because I know a few. I've lost a few matchups because of weather, man. I should have I should have moved a couple players around because the weather was terrible. So definitely the weather updates. I mean, as far as what is going so far, nothing too crazy. I think for some of the biggest names, the weather's okay. Like obviously what I always just quick rule of thumb, anybody that plays at Cleveland at this time of year, pay attention to weather because Cleveland is, man, they get fucking terrible winter weather, a lot of wind, a lot of snow. For that matchup, yeah, for real. For that matchup though, we got Baltimore Ravens versus Cleveland. That weather looks good. It's gonna be cold, but there is it's just gonna be cold. There's no heavy winds, no crazy precipitation or like snow or whatever's gonna happen. So you're good there.
Because I mean, we'll check again tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, it's a Monday nighter for sure. So I mean, if anything, it should be all right. But even on that one though, given if you're starting the Lamar Jackson like I am, even bad weather, I'm still going there because they're gonna run the heck out of the ball, right? Mm-hmm. Minnesota, Tampa Bay, pretty much all the Florida games are beautiful, y'all. Their weather is so beautiful over there, so don't worry about those games. The Calvin Ridley, so the Chargers Atlanta matchup looks good. They're playing inside of a dome. Green Bay, Detroit is playing inside of a dome. We got, of course, you got the KC versus Miami. They're playing in Florida. So overall, nothing too crazy as far as what I'm seeing. We got the New Orleans versus Philly. their weather's looking pretty good. 7-mile-an-hour winds, 56-degree Fahrenheit weather. So their weather's all right. So nothing to worry about there. What else we got here? Trying to think of other matchups. Oh, we got the Houston-Chicago game, which we definitely want to talk about that one because that one got real interesting. Now that pretty much Deshaun Watson has no one to throw to. But as far as weather, 3-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be cold, but that's about it. So no worries there. The Dallas and Cincinnati game, same thing, barely any wind going there. So overall, I mean, from what I'm seeing, is weather is not going to be a factor in a lot of playoff matchups this week, which is perfect, man, because there is some games out there that we, pretty sure everybody out there that plays fantasy football can really. We need some players to pop today. You know what I'm saying? Like we need these big names to like have the big name games that they've been having the beginning of the season, right? So that's pretty much it on that. But from there, man, let's go ahead and get moving with the rest of the agenda.
All right, let's go. Let's kick it off right now with the quarterbacks. And I'm going to go right for what you just said there about Houston having some injuries there. Are you starting or sitting Deshaun Watson today?
For me, bro, I'm gonna sit Deshaun Watson. And this is what's fucked up because like lately Chicago has been burned by quarterbacks and wide receivers. They seem to be imploding there compared to the team that they were the first eight weeks of the season, especially on defense. They looked elite. They looked like a playoff team. A lot of people thought they were one of the better teams in the division outside of Green Bay. But yeah, man, I just think at this point, if Deshaun Watson has a good game, it's because he has the ability to scramble. But I feel like even in a 10-team league, you probably could do a little bit better this week than Deshaun Watson. Like I know you have Big Ben. I would start Big Ben against Buffalo. I think that has some shootout potential. Big Ben's got his full suite of receivers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's got Deontay Johnson underneath. He's got Claypool in these guys. Think about it, bro. We got Watson's targets this week are. Duke Johnson. Oh, that's another one y'all forgot to mention earlier. Even the COVID list. David Johnson's out. COVID-19. So everybody make sure if you start David Johnson in your flex, go pick up Duke Johnson because he's probably available in most leagues.
And he's probably going to eat now that Cooks is out.
Exactly. So this is the deal. Right? So we got Deshaun Watson has basically Duke Johnson, which is a running back. He's got Brandon Fells. I think that's his name. Fells, the tight end, which is a great red zone option. He's got Kiki Kuti that pretty much has to lead the team as the number one receiver. And he is like always the number 3 receiver. Beyond Kiki Kuti, bro, I don't know who he's going to throw to today. I don't know really their names. You know what I'm saying? I know Fuller. Oh, that's right. But I don't think Kenny Stills is out. I thought he got released. Yeah, Kenny Stills got released a couple weeks ago. He's not even on the team. Yeah, so for me, dude, like, it's not a Deshaun Watson problem. Like I said, it gets to a point where it's like, dude, he ain't got nobody to throw to. Kiki Kuti is the number 3 receiver on the team that is now going to draw the other team's number 1, basically cornerback. To me, Deshaun Watson is not a start, not this week. If Chicago ever needed a get right game on defense, this is the matchup for him. Mm-hmm. Period. Yeah. So I'm steering away from Watson, man.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you on that, but at the end of the day, it's still Deshaun Jackson. He can still bust one out for 50 and take the house, right? But with him not having enough just help out there, man, it's going to be tough, especially going up against that Pittsburgh defense. So I would definitely bench him if you have another quarterback in your that you can pick up in your league or something like that. Definitely try and scoop someone up because he's going to have a tough time today going up against that Pittsburgh defense. Especially have
Chicago
coming up.
Chicago's defense.
Yeah. It's that Chicago defense. But yeah, man. So he doesn't have enough power. He doesn't have enough weapons out there to help get some points up. Even though Chicago, but that's the thing though with Chicago, they're not a high-powered offense either, right? So it might be who knows how that might turn out, right? So.
Yeah,
I will definitely try.
I think for sure that I think if you have someone else to start, you start him. But I don't think you panic in the fact that like you go pick up Andy Dalton and you try and start Andy Dalton because Watson don't have that. I think Watson's still going to give you like 15, maybe 20. Depends on how it goes, but a good 15 Because he still uses his legs, he can still make plays happen.
Yeah, that's the
Unless
thing. Yeah.
you have a viable quarterback as a backup, which in my head, going into the playoffs, you should, especially with COVID coming around, you should have a decent backup to kind of put in that option in that
100%.
slot. And unless they're playing, a top defense, you're probably putting them in at this point, and just for the reason that he does not have the weapons. But I can tell you, he still will make plays happen. The kid's he's real good. So
yeah, man, he's the truth.
And he could still put up a lot of points if they get in that goal line area. He could be rushing for a touchdown. He could just break one loose. He has that boom caliber day as well ahead of him. But I just don't know if it's going to happen because Chicago's defense is fairly good.
Chicago's defense is fairly good, but I'm just looking at the points here that they've given up in the last couple of games. They've given up 34 to Detroit, 41 to Green Bay, 19 to Minnesota, 24 to Tennessee. So it's not like their defense is really shutting these teams out. The defense is actually giving up some points, right?
True.
So and Deshaun Watson,
terrible.
Yeah,
go ahead, bro.
It doesn't help, but Deshaun Watson is able to at least it's Deshaun Watson. He's a playmaker, right? He's going to get points.
But
right?
this is the thing, man.
If you don't have anyone else to start, I would definitely start Deshaun. But if you have a better option that's going up a better opponent, then I will go with the other quarterback there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, being that this is a playoff matchup, I would play a better floor. You know what I mean? And this is the thing, man. The teams that you just named that Chicago has played, all those teams have pretty good quarterbacks with very high-powered offenses, man. Tennessee's got obviously Derrick Henry and Tannehill and the rest of that crew there, man. Detroit, obviously Matt Stafford can throw it sometimes, man. Matt Stafford, when he shows flashes of who he can be,
he doesn't even have his best receiver out there.
Something you guys all though remember is that the quarterback play of Chicago is bad. It does not put their defense in good positions.
No, I know, but also too, you got to understand my other side of it too is that when I think this might be a get right game for that defense is because Houston still has a shitty O-line. So now Deshaun Watson's probably going to have to hold on to the ball a little longer than he wants to because he's trying to make a play. I feel like this is going to be a Khalil Mack type of big plays. It's just, I don't know, man. I think the recipe, and then I think the other side of it, Chicago's going to run the fuck out of the ball. And I think Montgomery's going to have a game today for sure. It's just going to be a ugly game. And I don't know, man. I think even if, Deshaun Watson in the back game might score 15, but you might be able to do better with a streaming option.
Let me ask you this then. I'm going into that streaming option. I'm glad you said that because I got a message that says, do I pick up Jalen Hurts and start Jalen Hurts over Deshaun Watson this week?
Absolutely not. Jalen Hurts is going against New Orleans Saints. That you stay away from anyone in that matchup. I wouldn't play anybody. Maybe if I was going to play somebody in that matchup, I was going to say Goddard, but maybe not because Ertz is back now. So I don't know.
Call me crazy.
Go ahead, bro.
Call me crazy, but I will start Jalen Hurts.
I knew it.
I will start him. Exactly. From what I saw from last week, he came into the game. The team had a different vibe when he was on that field, man. He came in, he got a touchdown, he got a couple of stops. You know what I mean? He gives that team life.
He extended plays. He extended plays.
Yes. And Sanders hasn't been himself. You know what I mean? All those receivers in the last couple of weeks haven't been themselves, right? So I feel like with a new quarterback, with the new system in place, because with Hurts, he's able to get out of that pocket and make plays with his foot, right? So call me crazy. I think Jalen Hurts is going to give you at least 18 to 20 points today. It's not going to be anything spectacular, but I think he's going to throw for 2 touchdowns, maybe 200 yards throwing, and 50 yards rushing.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
That's what I see.
I wouldn't do it. No
today.
way. I think part of, and I get what you're saying, but think about it, man. The New Orleans Saints, where defensively they're top 3, top 5, but they've had a week to prepare for Jalen Hurts. So they know that he's going to roll out of the pocket. They know he's going to extend plays. This team is preparing for him. The difference in last game, dude, you got a whole team defense that's prepared for Carson Wentz. And then Hurts comes in, and it's a whole different matchup now. And I think that's why he made a few big plays. But they adjusted, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had a couple good quick touchdowns. But after that, the third, fourth possession of Hurts in there, he wasn't effective anymore. So
Yeah,
and
but
against
that doesn't
New
mean
Orleans,
that
dude, no way. Fuck that. I'm staying away from that. I'm steering so far away from that. In the playoffs, like you'd be willing to stream him right now in the playoffs.
if I have no choice,
Well, I mean,
if I have,
okay,
if
I'm saying between Watson. I'm saying over Watson.
yeah,
You have-
over Watson, no way, no way. I would still go. Watson on a worse matchup than Hurts against New Orleans. Like, bro, that's crazy. But you know
nah,
what, man? You've said some wildest shit
I
that
was stri-
it
I
happens.
was streaming him
So,
over Watson this week, man. I was streaming
like,
over Watson this week. He has way more weapons than Watson this week.
Okay,
just
look at
yeah,
last week. Okay, just look at last week. He came in. He played decent. Okay, he threw an interception. They didn't even have game tape on him. New Orleans defense, who is probably just as good as Green Bay's,
better. I would say better.
especially better against the run. I don't know about
Mhm.
the pass, but against the run, 100%.
The run.
Okay, and Jalen Hurts runs the ball. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be a good game by Jalen Hurts.
No,
He may give you 10 points.
maybe.
I say 18.
Maybe. I would
I
do
say 18
okay.
to
Look,
18
just to
to 20.
finish this segment, y'all, so we can keep moving because I know we got some players to cover. I think I tell you right now who I would stream over. I'll give you like 2 or 3 just quick names real quick that I think will stream over Watson. I'd go if Kirk Cousins is available. I would rather start him. I'm more comfortable starting Kirk Cousins. I would start Ryan Tannehill this week. I would start Tom Brady if he's available. I would start Big Ben. I would start who else? There was another name on here. I'd probably even go Phillip Rivers right now over him, man. So yeah, I'm steering away from that matchup, man, for sure.
Yeah, but in a lot of deeper leagues, those guys aren't really available. Like in my league, my 12-team league, the best quarterback available right now is Andy Dalton. You
Yeah,
know,
Andy Dalton. Oh, buddy, against that Cincinnati defense, yes.
you know what I mean? So it's tough in other leagues. That's why people that didn't have stock up on quarterbacks, I feel bad for it because you're gonna have some bad matchups. COVID may hit, and you may get stuck in the playoffs with something that's not good.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. But like you said before, though, you said it right. It's your playoff time. You should have a backup quarterback. Like I have Taysom Hill on my bench.
100%.
Like if you're at this point, you should have a contingency plan for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's keep it moving, though, bro. Who's next?
All right, we got we touched on Ben Roethlisberger already, but I mean, so we'll move on from that. Let's go into the running backs. We'll go Mike Davis versus Denver. What do you think about Mike Davis?
Go ahead, Daryl. What you think, bro? I'll let you start it.
Mike Davis versus Denver. I would, especially with McCaffrey being out. DJ Moore is also out with COVID-19. I think this offense is definitely going to be a Mike Davis and Curtis Samuel show, along with the other Robbie Anderson. I think those 3 cats today are going to have major roles today. But I would say in regards to that Carolina offense, definitely it's a start. I would definitely start Mike Davis. I say his game is at least 10 to 15 points. That's his floor, nothing less, right? Especially with Ted Bridgewater being back. Mike Davis is going to be a safety net, bro. You know, he sees nothing downfield. He's going to have Curtis Samuel and Mike Davis that he can just dump the ball off to, right? So definitely a start for me in regards to Mike Davis.
Yeah, for me, I'm steering away from it, man. I was just talking to Jordan before you jumped on. Yeah, man. I think one thing that a lot of fantasy players fail to realize is that Denver's record is terrible, but that defense is not. That defense is really good. And, dude, honestly, man, Mike Davis has had a chance to be this team's, like, pretty much workhorse all season. And honestly, man, he's had about maybe 5-6 weeks in a row, maybe one missed here and there because McCaffrey did play that one game. He hasn't really, and it might not be a Mike Davis issue. It could be just the way they run their offense there. But he hasn't had that, like, remember the first 2 games when he took over for McCaffrey, 22, 21. I think he was amazing, but they were feeding him the ball. And now that like Curtis Samuel and some of these other weapons emerged, it just doesn't seem like the team is okay feeding him like the way they feed McCaffrey. It's like when McCaffrey's not in, they say, all right, cool, we need to come up with like a more wide-range game plan to get more players involved. Versus McCaffrey's in, it's like we start with McCaffrey and then go everywhere else. And then so again, against the Denver Broncos, nah, man, I'm steering away. I actually dropped Mike Davis, and I thought it was, even after I did, I was like, maybe that was a little crazy move. But just based on whether McCaffrey's going to play or not. But before I dropped him, I said even if they drop him, would McCaffrey start on my team now? Mike Davis. He still wouldn't start on my team because I don't like his matchups the rest of the way. So for me, I'm out on Mike Davis, man. I think the Mike Davis hype. I feel like I fell victim to the Mike Davis hype because I started him not last week. I think was it maybe last week or the week before? He only put up like
last week.
That's right, and he only put up like 12 points. But I fell into that same thing. Like, oh, Mike Davis is gonna eat. So I leave. I forgot who I left on my bench, but there was like a better option on my bench. But the Mike Davis is / McCaffrey work. It bit me in the ass again, dude. So I was like, you know what? I'm not playing this game with Mike Davis anymore. And in this matchup against Denver, I would rather, even if he puts up 20 points. And the funny thing is, I don't think anyone in our league is starting Mike Davis this week, because I looked at rosters. No one's starting Mike Davis this week in our league at least. So I'm gonna go
Yeah, but the way you look at it, though, in regards to starting Mike Davis, is just that there's so many of their firepower that's out, right? So DJ Moore's out, McCaffrey is out, so he's gonna have a bigger role in this game. So especially with our league being a PPR league, so even if he's not rushing the ball, he's gonna get those passes. He's gonna get those touches.
They've had many games where they've had multiple people out, and McCaffrey was still out. Mike Davis still put up, below average numbers, 8 points, 9 points. And we're talking PPR leagues here. So honestly, I agree with Tony there. I'm benching Mike Davis this week. I mean, obviously, y'all, if you have him and you have to start him, that's different. But I'm still putting him on my bench. I got him on my bench. I think there's other options out there at running back. I think one of the other ones we're going to touch on right now is it's actually I was going to go into next is DeAndre Washington. I think that might even be a better start because of the volume he's going to get. Duke Johnson, I think, is going to be a better start than Mike Davis this week too. I just think there is better options out there, especially Mike Davis at this point shouldn't be in anyone's 1-2, more or less should be a flex. And I think you should have 100% better options at flex. There's QT out there who's going to eat this week. There's a lot better options as a flex than Mike Davis.
Dude, I'm right there with you, man. I steer away from it. And it's funny because even if people that are going to look at like stats and shit like that, statistically, Denver is like middle of the pack on defense. They've given up a decent amount of fucking rushing touchdowns. They're giving about 282 up a game. So you think, oh, Mike Davis should be okay. He's going against middle pack. But one thing, just to kind of finish this thought, y'all, is that Jordan, you mentioned earlier, Drew Lock, like they're not good on offense. So Drew Lock puts that defense in very, very bad positions a lot of times. Drew Lock does, and all the guys that backed him up. So that defense is always put in a really bad situation. But if you take that out, and let's just if you just watch game tape on normal possessions where like the ball's kicked off, a punt, whatever, that defense is really, really solid, man. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that's going to be a no for me, dog. You know what I'm saying? On Mike Davis even more, man.
Yeah, man. I have to disagree with you, man. I just believe that it's going to be a different outcome today. It's going to be a different outcome today with Mike Davis and Robbie Anderson as well as Curtis Samuel. Right, I just think those three boys today are gonna have a major, no, I wouldn't say like a boom game, but they're gonna have a subpar game, a middle of the pack kind of game this week. So I would definitely flex them, stream them if I can, and see what it do for me. Because right now I am in limbo in regards to starting Curtis Samuel or McKissick, but we can get that later on. But
oh yeah, I got to go McKissick all day on that.
Let me ask you this right now. All right, we all got the news that Leonard Fournette is inactive. All right,
big time. Coach's decision too, which is crazy.
Starting Ronald Jones.
I'm so mad. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. He's 100%. Been startable.
He looks
all
good. He
year.
looks good.
Are you flexing him or are you putting him in your number 2 slot? Like, okay, let me ask you.
It depends what you have available, bro.
I got Zeke in my number 2. Now, I'm just going to ask you, are you putting Rojo ahead of Zeke this week?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, man, that's tough. But Zeke's going against Cincinnati, and they're fucking terrible.
And it's Zeke.
And it is also Zeke.
That O-line isn't really helping Zeke, right? So
I
know. It doesn't really matter who's.
They've had a week though with this new patched O-line. They've had a week. Yeah, they have. They've had a week to practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I hope at this point Mike McCarthy's like, dude, I have no O-lineman. We should probably run the ball a little bit more this week, like at least 10 times more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the other side of it too is this is oh fuck. I hate McCaffrey. I mean, sorry. What's his fucking coach's name? McCarthy. I hate that he's the Cowboys coach, man. Because this is the problem with him, is that now that like he says I got to run the ball more. Guess what? Guess what's happening in Dallas now. He says, all right, cool. I got to run the ball more. I need more looks from my running back. So all of a sudden, who's getting 10 to 12 touches a game? Fucking Tony Pollard. That's who, not fucking Zeke. So you know what, man? Nah, I don't trust. I don't trust I don't trust Dallas at all. Honestly, like you know who I think's a great start in Dallas? It's fucking CD Lamb this week. That's who I think's a really good start in Dallas this week.
I'll flex him every week, man.
100%, dude. I picked him up late too. I would have flexed him this week, but I ended up flexing Cooper Kupp anyway. But either way, dude, so Zeke, I think between Zeke and Rojo, I'm gonna go Rojo because I like the situations that he gets the ball in. I like that I know for sure he's gonna get about 15 to 20 touches a game, and he's gonna get some high value touches as well. So it even sounds crazy to say out loud. Ronald Jones is a better start than Ezekiel Elliott, but 2020 has been a hell of a year. And that's the kind of year we have in where Ronald Jones in week 14 of the playoffs, to me, is a better start than Ezekiel Elliott in the playoffs in 2020. 100%.
Yeah, one move I really regret doing was trading Stephon Diggs and Ronald Jones for Gurley and Jarvis Landry. That trade is coming back to bite me in the ass right now. Because as of right now, Gurley is playing like like our RB3. Jarvis Landry, he's had back-to-back good games, but I'm still on the losing end of that trade, right? Ronald Jones has been balling. It was like 3 weeks ago. He bust one out for 98 yards, and then last week or the week before that, before they went on the bye, he had a pretty good game. So he's been very consistent in the last couple of weeks, right? So with Ronald Jones, it's definitely a start from me, starter flex.
Love it.
Yeah,
I want to get to a question from Michael here, one of our fans, is that he's been streaming a quarterback all week, all year, and he doesn't know what to do right now. He's in a toss up between a fair bit. He's Trubisky, Cousins, Teddy Bridgewater, Tua, Glennon, Hurts, Jones, Dalton, even Darnold, right? Because those are all his options in free agency.
Cousins all day for me.
Me personally, I'm going with either Cousins or Teddy, but I'm taking Cousins because Cousins has been balling out. Minnesota's been balling out, and that Tampa defense hasn't been as great as everyone has actually made.
Very beatable in there.
That linebacking core is unbevillable, and I think they make them look a lot better than they are. But
I agree.
I'm going Cousins.
100%.
I think it's going to be an air out game all around. Cook's going to eat. Don't get me wrong, but Cook's been eating and they still been airing it out. So I'm going Cousins all day, Michael.
Yeah, me too, bro. Cousins.
Let's go. Yeah.
Cousins a start, man. He is, and he's got his receivers, bro. Thielen and Jefferson look really good out there. Thielen is a beast in the red zone. Dude, I went back and just watched some YouTube on Jefferson, bro. Like this dude, he's such a great route runner, man. Honestly. The funny thing is, bro, he seems to be open almost every fucking play, bro. Like if you just watch him, just literally watch offensive replays and just focus on him, dude. Like if Cousins could legit target him like at least probably 20 times a game, like he's gonna be so good, bro. If you're in a dynasty league, I'm dynastying the fuck out of Justin Jefferson, man. Like
100%.
Yeah, I'm going Cousins all day for sure. Beautiful. For sure.
All right, Daryl, this one's for you. We'll start off with you because I know you got him. I know where I stand with him. I know where Tony stands with him. But Miles Sanders versus the Saints. What are you doing?
Versus the Saints. I'm flexing. I think Miles Sanders is due for a big game. But I had him early in the season. But I traded him for Kareem Hunt. But ever since I traded him, he hasn't had a big game. He hasn't had a big outing. But I think today versus the Saints, having a rookie quarterback, having a young quarterback back there, his workload is going to be way more than it was before. So I think he's going to have a major game. He's not going to have a boom game, but he's going to have a game that's going to keep your team afloat during these playoffs. So I definitely flex him. I'm having in my starting lineups, but don't expect him to get you like 25 points because that's not going to happen. So if you have them, stream them. Yeah, so I would start him. I definitely start this week against the team. They're going to need his offense this week. This week.
I'm gonna go. Hell no, dude. New Orleans is bro. I've started a few times, took a few players against New Orleans, and I'm thinking, oh, this guy should be, he should be all right. Nah, man, New Orleans is the real deal. I think this New Orleans defense is the best we've seen since about this 3 to 5 year run that they've had of being contenders. Like they've been a contender for the Super Bowl probably for the last 3 to 5 years. This defense this year, and they've had some good defense like 2-3 years ago. This defense to me is the best that they've had. I really think this is the best chance they have at a Super Bowl win because that defense, dude, is, bro, they are so good, man. I actually, you know what? If I was going to do a bold prediction of who's going to get out of the NFC at this point, I am very, very, very leaning to say that it's the New Orleans Saints. I think the New Orleans Saints could beat the Green Bay Packers because of that defense, man. But fuck, Devontae Adams is really good too, though. But yeah,
look what they're doing right now with Hill. You throw in Drew Brees back in there. Come on, I agree.
Dude, it's tough, man.
Coming in brings Kamara back.
Yep.
Like just this team is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And that fact that defense is that good now.
Yeah.
Like, Drew Brees has never had, I don't think, I know they've had good defenses and maybe close to as good. But I don't think it's been this good.
Yeah, even the team that he won a Super Bowl with had an amazing defense. The team that got robbed in the NFC Championship game on that against the Rams, that defense is really good too. But no, dude, I really believe that this is the Super Bowl defense. And to be honest, man, I think Drew Brees is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he's one of the greatest QBs all time.
Hands down.
It just seems to be that the story's gonna be written, man. There's a really good chance that they get to the Super Bowl, they win it, and Drew Brees can call it a career, man. I mean, he's 47 years old. He damn near got killed the other day on the field, broke like all his ribs. Like, bro, it's time. Like, you know what I mean? And I think the team is rallying around that too. And I don't know, man. I just feel like this will be an amazing way to end his career. You know, not a lot of QBs can end their career on a high like that. I mean, John Elway, I think, was the last one to do it, 2 in a row. Peyton Manning also did it after a Super Bowl win. It's only fitting for me that Drew Brees wins it all this year with that team. And to be real, man, I think what's his name? The coach there, he might be right. Taysom Hill could be the future. Last week he looked really good as a quarterback, and it was his third game starting, and he looked good throwing it, man. And then we already know what he can do on the ground. So
surprising a lot of doubters out there.
Yeah, buddy. So for me, man, I'm not starting Miles Sanders. I don't like anybody in Philly because it's a dart throw every week. Then you got the rookie starting his first full week against literally arguably the number 1 to like maybe somewhere between 1 and 3 top defense in the league. That's gonna be a no for me, dog, on them too. No Miles Sanders. No Eagles players, period, for me this week. No way. It's too risky. You're in the playoffs, bro. It's too much risk for me.
It is a lot of risk, but Miles Sanders for me is the only player on that offense I would start.
Yeah,
I'm on a full bench with Miles Sanders, and I'll tell you why right now. Because they know they're getting a new quarterback. They know they're going to lean more onto them. Their defense is already good against the run. You don't think they're going to plan to do even more against the run?
They're going to stack that box.
This kid fucking alive. I'm going if he on a good day he's putting up 10 fantasy points again. With COVID, with injuries, there's a lot of players available in free agency to pick up and able to flex that could have volume and are in better spots in my eyes to put up points than Miles Sanders. I think you're going to get a 10 points from Miles Sanders. So if your team's stacked and you can use that, fine, I get it, whatever. But if you need that
100%.
Boom, if you need that boom, I do feel like there's better players out there that you could start.
Yeah, I agree, man. And then they like to get Boston Scott involved too. It's too risky, bro. It's just,
and not to mention Jalen Hurts is gonna run, guys.
Yep, you better believe he's gonna run.
I'm not starting Miles Sanders at all.
Yeah, no.
Let's get to the next one here. I know Tony likes this one. Let's go with Calvin Ridley. Julio's out. We know he's played a couple times with Julio already. He's had a mediocre season other than the first 4 or 5 games. So what are you doing with Calvin this week? Having the chance to get doubled up on, etc.
Yeah, dude, it's tough because you're right. He's had a really good season, but you're right. The first 5 weeks outside of week 4, he put up 0 points in week 4.
Mm.
and he was played the whole game. So outside of that, y'all, I'll read you his scoreline just literally really quickly. I'd say up to week 7, he's had an amazing season. Week 7, he scored, pretty much just under 20 points every week outside of and then so from week 8 to now, 9-0 because he didn't play. Bye week 14, 17, 15. So very middle of the pack. In those games, he looks good. It's just the touchdown's not there. It's just always like he's like this far from booming. And those games where he scored 15, 7, like I'm talking one play away, dude, or one touchdown away. But it just seems like, Matt Ryan seems to implode. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking crazy, man. So Calvin Ridley is I don't think I could do better than Calvin Ridley though this week. That's the thing. So he's in my starting lineup. I hate the matchup though. I like you said, he's gonna have the other team's best corner on him.
He's gonna get doubled because
He's gonna get doubled.
who are they gonna go at Russell Gage?
Exactly. And Russell Gage, yeah, he'll catch the ball because he's a fast guy, but he's no Julio, he's no
No.
Calvin Ridley. So he's gonna get
Mhm.
doubled all game. And then obviously we already know the Falcons don't have a run game, bro. So the reason I think obviously I think I'm gonna start them anyways, because one thing we do know about the Falcons, they're gonna throw that bitch like 40 times a game. You know what I mean? Like they are gonna throw it and throw it and throw it. Even when they're up 45-0, they're just gonna continue to throw it. So I'm throwing Calvin Ridley in as a volume-based start. I know his matchup isn't the greatest, and all season when Julio doesn't play, that whole offense just seems off. Like they just don't seem to play well without Julio.
No, for sure.
So I'm just gonna go with because I'd say like my other options would be DJ Chark, which fuck no, that's so risky. Even though I think DJ Chark's gonna have a big game today, but there's a chance that he doesn't. You know what I mean? It's literally boomer bust with DJ Chark. And then I got Giovanni Bernard. Actually, not even. I can't even put him there because I already used my flex position. So yeah, the only thing I can only. Oh, sorry. I actually have two options. I can go CeeDee Lamb, which could be very sneaky, or I can go Calvin Ridley. Even between CeeDee Lamb, who I think can also have a really big game today, because obviously Dalton seems to love to target this guy, man. Yeah, I'm still gonna go Calvin Ridley because one thing that could happen today too, y'all, is I'm thinking about game flow, right? Dude, this is a get right game for Justin Herbert too. I think Justin Herbert's gonna have a big game, which sucks because I'm going against them in my playoff matchup this week. So let's just say we have a potential shootout again because both defenses are very beatable.
Depends what Atlanta defense comes out. Like we've seen how suspect Chargers defense could be, but we've seen how good Atlanta's defense can be.
I know.
So all depends on what defense comes out and plays, and that's why I bet a lot too, and it scares me on my bets right now too.
Yeah, I feel you, man. What do you think, Daryl? Like, for me, I'm starting Calvin Ridley, but sheer out of volume, man. Volume, period.
Oh, 1%. I'm starting Calvin Ridley, receiver 1, receiver 2. He is an electric receiver, right? He's one of those receivers. Doesn't really matter, right? So he as long as he can stay healthy on the field today, I don't see him not attempting the 20 points mark, especially in our league, right? Matt Ryan is going to be looking his way a shit ton, especially with Todd Gurley not being Todd Gurley old, so we're going to expect Calvin Ridley to have a big game today, right? So
yeah.
He might end up with like 15 targets, 10 reception for 120 yards, right? So let's just say those targets that is getting are all at least like 5 to 10 yards per reception. It still adds up, right? They're not gonna give him the big play yardage, but it's the little 5 to 10 hitters here and there that's gonna get him to where he needs to be, right? So that's because with a guy like that, with a guy with sheer speed like a Ridley, they're going to be taking away the big plays from him. So I think their game plan coming to this game is going to be hitting him on the quick hitters, and then if he's able to break one to the house, then you can have a boom game, right? So I think he's gonna have a big game today, especially with just look at, even with in the prior weeks he's had subpar game, but especially now with Julio being out, he's the highlight of the offense. He's definitely going to he's a start, 100% start. He's definitely going to make a team that much better this week if you have him in your lineup.
Okay, so let me ask you. Would you, now that Curtis Samuel, we feel is going to get a lot of volume or whatever, is really that much of a start? Let's say you have Curtis Samuel on your bench. Are you thinking about putting Curtis Samuel in over Ridley?
Nah, not at all, because even myself right now, I have McLaurin, I have I have Keenan Allen. I also have McKissick. I have Curtis Samuel on my bench. So it's like, do I start Curtis Samuel over all those other guys? To me personally, is a no. Right? If I didn't have those guys, if I didn't have those guys in my lineup, then I can slide Curtis Samuel. And he can boom today for 20 points. But I'm happy that I'm happy with the outcome, right? Because I know I have better players in my starting lineup. As long as I win my week, I'm good with it. Because what if I do start Curtis Samuel and gives me, let's say, 5 points, right?
Oh,
because of
100%. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm starting Calvin Ridley too. I have him in one of my leagues, and I've been contemplating him. Do I go Claypool over him? Do I go Samuel over him? All these other options. But in the end of the day, it's the playoffs. You go with your best roster. You go with
100%. Always. You're in your best hands.
Unless you're in last place, in first place is fucking great, and your best roster is not gonna beat his. You need some
gambles. 100%.
That's a little different, but I mean, at the end of the day, you put your best players out on the field to make you win the game.
Honestly, bro, that's what happened with me and you 2 years ago when we met in the championship game. Dude, your team was so much better than me, like especially the whole season. And I picked up Robbie Anderson as a dart throw, and he scored like 30 fantasy points, bro.
You picked up 2 or 3 guys in the finals and started.
Yeah, because I knew, dude. I was like, dude, I mean, our fucking championship game was very high scoring. Like, dude, you put up enough points to win every week. It was like what 220 to like fucking like 200.
Yeah,
and it was Tennessee's defense. They got that pick six in trash time. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing. It was literally a trash time pick six that they had.
Robbie Anderson snapped.
He had like 27 fantasy points, dude. So I'm with you on that. If you are in you're in a really tough matchup and you just need to throw a gamble, and you're like, yeah, fuck, because I was playing with house money all season because I think I went to the finals as like number 4 or 5 in the league. Like I was very middle of the pack.
Now you finished. Yeah, I think you finished 3rd, but you had the last points in the league.
That's what it was. Yeah. I was not scoring any points all year.
In a situation like that, for sure. But let's get into the next one. I know you guys talked about it, and Michael's curious about it too. Giovanni Bernard, start, sit. What are y'all doing?
I know, dude. Like, that's the thing. I have Bernard on my bench, and dude, and the funny thing is I planned on starting Joe Mixon this week all year because if supposedly he was supposed to come back all year, week 14, whatever. And then obviously there's a chance. I don't even think they're going to bring him back because what's the point? I mean, you already lost your franchise quarterback. Don't risk losing your franchise running back either. So I don't think they'll bring him back all season. And then I was like, you know what? I should go, I went Cooper Kupp in my flex instead. And now I'm kind of regretting it because but that's the thing, though. Cooper Kupp had a shit game. It was just a touchdown that saved his fantasy day. He scored 14.4 fantasy games in a PPR, points in a PPR. But I think Bernard has the one thing I've noticed about Bernard's numbers is that his last 3 weeks has been against really, really good defenses. Because the work's been there. He's had enough to put up decent points. But, man, you know what, man? I guess to be honest, if I could go back, I'm throwing Bernard in my flex if I could go back. I think he gets the work, and just Dallas is just not good against anything on defense, guys. Like anything,
especially against the run.
Oh, they're terrible against the run.
PR. What are you doing? You got Giovanni Bernard, Sterling Shepard, Antonio Brown, or Brandon Ayuk. Who you flexing?
That's so tough, man.
Ayuk has been balling. So with all those names that you just mentioned, the biggest and reward.
But Danny Dimes is back, right?
Danny Dimes is back.
So Danny Dimes is back, but who knows which Danny Dimes is going to show up today? It could be Danny Dimes or it could be Danny Brick.
Right? You're right.
But with me with Ayuk, with just a sheer continuity with what he has with the team within the last 3 weeks. I will definitely start Ayuk because I know there's more reward with starting him.
I don't like the matchup.
Even with Shepard, Shepard's been very inconsistent since he's been back from injury, right? So he'll finish with like 10 points one game, 5 points other game. So it's like you don't know what, especially down New York team, especially being such a young team, consistency is not there. The consistency is not there. Right.
I'm a fan of Ayuk. I don't like the matchup either, but I think out of those guys, I think he probably gives you the best option for the playoffs.
Yes.
I think he's the best bet.
Nah,
put up
I disagree, bro.
in a
Washington,
PPR league.
yeah, Washington football team is giving up like 200 yards a game passing, bro. Like, and they got fucking Mullins at quarterback. Like, no way, dude. This is gonna be a game where where San Francisco is gonna run the fuck out of the ball. And even if Ayuk does score, but even then, the Washington football team gives up 1.5 touchdown passes a game, which is, bro, this team is the real deal.
I
Like
know they are.
the Washington,
The best team in the NFC East.
dude, the Washington Redskins on defense, or sorry, the Washington football team is the real deal on defense, man.
Oh,
Like they get after
100%.
they get after the quarterback. Their cornerbacks are good. Like, bro, this team's so good.
Mhm.
They just have, and honestly, Alex Smith is solid. Like he's doing exactly what
the team.
yeah.
They're not
He-
there right now.
You're right, and he's doing exactly what Alex
Mhm.
Smith does. He doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily go and Aaron Rodgers you a game or whatever, but he won't lose you a game.
He controls the game. The game he controls.
Yeah.
He knows what
He's
to
a real
do to
veteran
win.
quarterback, man.
He's
Yep.
good. And
I
he-
stay away from that matchup. I don't like Ayuk at all. Not against Washington. I think the best matchup out of those names that he said is still Giovanni Bernard, because even if, let's just say, that the Cowboys go put up 21, 28 points, I think this is two really bad teams with two really bad defenses and two okay offenses, that this game could be like a prime PPR matchup for Bernard. I think
Yeah.
Bernard will put up like 15 fantasy points today. He'll maybe get 60, 70 yards on the ground, but I see him catching 3 or 4 passes for like another 20, 30. So, yeah, I'm going Bernard over Ayuk.
This team under Brandon Allen has been atrocious.
I know.
They're bad. He hasn't put up over 10 points. You're in the playoffs. Ayuk has been consistent. I don't
100%.
just go just because of a matchup. Go and start
But
Ayuk.
I think this is a matchup that's worth playing, though, because we know that the Bengals are gonna like actually do a traditional running play about 20 times. I bet on those 20 run plays, but let's say Bernard gets 15 of them, or even 12, he can put up 60, 70 yards, man.
Bro, think about it when Mixon was in. They couldn't even do anything with Mixon. He's a better running back.
No,
And
I
they-
know. I know, but the one really soft matchup Mixon had, though, he put up 40 fantasy points, and it was a soft defense he did against two.
Yeah,
But that
it
was
one-
like, see, that was like game 2.
Giovanni Bernard. You're talking
Fucking 4 or
no Joe
5.
Burrow. You know Dallas is going to stack the box. Like, no, I'm not. I'm staying away from Giovanni Bernard 150%.
Yeah.
He's a sit for me. I'm going with a Ayuk, and in that question there, I'm going with a Ayuk or Shepard, to be completely honest, if you wanted to do it.
Yeah,
On
100%.
Giovanni
So
Bernard,
it
far, for me, it's not even fun.
Yeah, I don't
even
know, bro.
even myself,
Washington's
man,
a real
with-
deal for me, man. I don't want to bet against them anymore.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
even
bro, sorry.
with myself, with like Brandon Ayuk, I just don't see why I would not even start him or even flex him this week. He's been very consistent. Sterling Shepard has been very inconsistent. Giovanni Bernard, very inconsistent. The only name that's been very consistent within those players that was listed is Ayuk. And in the playoffs, you want consistency, right? You don't want to, especially playoffs, you want to know that the guy that's in today is going to give you what you expect, right? You don't want a guy that you're like, all right, so he might give me 20 points today or maybe nothing, right? Which might happen if you start Shepard and or Giovanni. But with Ayuk, especially that team being very they're run heavy offense, but also on the outside you have guys like then what's homeboy's name?
Debo?
Cool, bro.
Yeah, you have
Deebo
Debo
Samuel?
and then Debo Samuel and then Ayuk. So Debo's gonna open up the field for Ayuk. Right. So
Yeah,
so
no,
that's
Brandon
that's the
Ayuk
way I
is the
look at
real
it.
deal. I agree with you
Yeah.
guys, man. I'm not saying, dude, again, same thing. Dynasty League, bro, I would Ayuk all day for me,
Yeah.
but I had him for a little bit too. I regret dropping him because he'd be a good, just a good, bench stash just in case I get an injury. And I was looking at his matchups because Mike's right, man. You guys are right. Look at his last 3 games that he's actually played. Full PPR, 23, 19, and 20. And this is in the last 5 weeks, but 2 games was like COVID.
No help.
But the one thing that I'm looking at out of those 3 games, only one was against a really good football team, and that was against New Orleans. But that there was 13-27 in that game. 13 points was pretty much Ayuk. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think Washington football team is gonna. I don't think they allow it today, man.
You got to look at this too. New Orleans only had to worry about Ayuk. Now you got Mostert back. Now you got Debo back.
No,
and
you're right.
you're not playing a defense in my head that's as good as New Orleans. I think Washington's defense is good, but their ratings towards what like statistics
Yeah.
also doesn't help that they're in the NFC East playing shit teams 6 other times a year.
I mean, yeah, maybe we've seen them against top teams. Look what happened.
Good. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm saying it helps their stats that they play Philly
Yeah.
twice, play the Giants twice, that they played Dallas twice this year. It helps that stats because all those teams turn the ball over.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, it's dude.
All
This
right.
is probably the one where we're like fucking debate, man, because I feel y'all, man. I like Ayuk a lot, but fuck, I just think it's a Giovanni Bernard day for me, man.
This is probably Michael's brain right now. What we're talking about. He's probably
100%. Yeah, 100%. I'm going Bernard.
All right.
But I'm in sixth place in my league, so take it as you want. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in first. I'm going. He's in Darrell's in second. Go with AU.
Wando P.
Yeah, you know what? If we put it that way,
All right, I have a question for you guys.
You might listen to
I have a
these two,
question.
bro.
I have a question for you guys. I have a question for y'all. So this is about the tight end discussion right now. So right now I have in limbo between Jonnu Smith and Evan Ingram. So Jonnu Smith is going up against that Jacksonville defense, and Ingram is going up against Arizona. So who would you start?
Always going Ingram because of volume.
Yep.
Volume, but that Jacksonville defense is very questionable at best.
It's the playoffs. It's the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Go with your best roster.
100%.
You go with the guy that gets the most volume. He's been balling as of late.
Yep.
You go with Evan Ingram. He's going to give you the best chance to put up the most points.
Yep. And Danny Dimes is back.
Jonnu may get to touchdown. 3-4 receptions.
Yep.
Yards and a touchdown, but Ingram has a chance to get 10 receptions, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I fucking agree 100%. Evan Ingram all day for me.
I understand, but in regards to Ingram, it's just the quarterback play. It's all based on the quarterback play. It's how good is the quarterback play going to be this week? You know,
but this is the thing.
There's
the thing, bro. Real quick, just to kind of like give you like more food for thought, is that Jacksonville is fucking terrible against the run. I think this is a fucking this is a Derrick Henry game and a half today, bro. He's gonna run the ball about 30. I'm gonna guess right. I'm gonna give you all a number. He runs the ball 31 times today. It's not a Jonnu Smith game flow today, bro. It's a 31 carries for fucking Derrick Henry today. Honestly,
I think it depends what you're looking for.
Yeah, Evan Ingram though, buddy. I'm gonna go. He's going to be targeted 11 times today, catches 7 balls for I'm going to go 7 for 75 and a touchdown. That's my guess on Ingram today.
I was going to say 8 for 85 and a touchdown. So that makes sense. But I think he's going to get the ball.
I have him way under.
I think you have the better option. I think just the better option. No, obviously no one knows what's going to happen. But the better option for the playoffs is Evan Ingram.
Well, Gerald, why do you put Evan Ingram's why, bro? Like, why is Jonnu a better start for you? I don't.
Yeah, for me, the reason why I think Jonnu is a better start. Second, first of all, in end zone especially against Jacksonville, he gets those end zone targets, right? So let's just say they get down there, they get to the red zone 4 or 5 times this game. He's going to get at least 2 of those targets. He's going to get 2 targets each, maybe throughout the game in the red zone, so that's going to eclipse him over 10 points. But then with Evan Ingram, there are games that he finishes with 3 points, and then they're like he gets about 10 targets, but they were bad freaking targets. Sometimes not because you get targets means they're good passes, right? So he could get 10 targets. He could get 10 targets, but one like those passes are flying over his head, like because most of the time that times he's overthrowing him or underthrowing him, right? So and then you have Tannehill, who's a better quarterback. Jonnu might get maybe 4 or 5 targets, but those 4 or 5 targets are all receptions and 1 is a touchdown. So that's just the way
I agree with that. Very high value targets for sure. Yeah, I agree.
So that's just why I may just start him today.
I don't know, man. I mean, well, at the end of the day, I mean, I think Evan Ingram is for me, he's a better ceiling. Just Jonnu's floor is too risky for me, bro. His floor is so risky, man. Like he could have a game where he don't score shit, you know?
Of course, but sometimes you got to risk it to get the biscuit. And I think Jonathan Smith this week is definitely going to give me that biscuit.
Yeah.
And also another question here I have. So I have Darren Waller, who's going up against that Indiana in that Colts defense, or Ebron. So that's my other who's going against Buffalo.
That's what that was me for the start and sit. Like I was going to go into the next one would be Hayden Hurst, obviously with Julio out, and then I have Ebron as well as my two tight ends. So we can go into Ebron next for sure. And I'm starting Ebron all day.
Over Waller if you had him.
Oh, over Waller. Over Waller.
That's what I'm saying. So Hayden Hurst, Waller, Ebron. I go Waller.
See, it's hard to do that because no one's going to have those three guys on their roster. So it's really hard to do that. It's more or less we got to do it like you got to start and sit each one. You know what I mean? Because like to compare them like that, it doesn't really work because Waller ball is out. It doesn't really work that way, right? So
I'd go Waller though.
For
just
me,
to answer Daryl's question, like if I had Waller,
I go Waller too, just because of the.
You have to. He's the best player on that team.
He's the best tight end.
But there are games that he only gets like 4 targets because Carr is not getting him the ball. Because like, especially we're going against that Colts.
You got to understand
the Colts defense.
Drafted Waller high, bro. Waller's a lock, a tight end. Waller's not even a start sit question.
Nope.
Right. Start sit question here is Eric Ebron. Is he a start and sit against Buffalo? He's been pretty consistent as of late. He's put up over 12 points every week for the last 3 weeks, and then even 100%. Before that. Do you start Eric Ebron against Buffalo?
I do. I would go Eric Ebron because in Ben Roethlisberger, yeah, man, he's gonna throw the ball so much, and Buffalo's so beatable in the air, bro. Yeah, I think Eric Ebron gets a solid high volume 7 targets today, 7-8 targets, and he turns it into fantasy points.
100%. But Buffalo's deep core is so good that they're gonna have. I feel like Pittsburgh's gonna have a tough time throwing on the outside, and Eric Ebron's gonna be their go-to.
I agree.
Yeah, but the only knock I have on Ebron is that he, especially in the last like 7 games, I was reading the stat that he has about 8 drops. So he's
been a dropper, bro. Eric,
so that's only
has always been a guy to drop passes. Always.
Yeah, and right there. So his opportunity to take your week to that next level might be because of a drop. Right, so he might, instead of finishing with like 24 points, he might finish at 10 because he dropped 2 passes in the end zone.
This could be the game that he doesn't drop any passes and he puts you over.
Yeah, I'm still going Eric Ebron over Hayden Hurst for sure.
The only thing over Hayden Hurst, but are you starting Hayden Hurst where in a game where Julio's out? He's had a couple of bad weeks.
Yes, I'm starting Hayden Hurst over Ebron, 100%.
Are you going with Hayden Hurst as a tight end start this week?
Nah,
yes, I am.
I'm going Eric Ebron.
No. Just in general, though, you have Hayden Hurst on your roster. Are you starting Hayden Hurst?
But if I had different option, no. If I had a different option,
Ebron is not your option. Just are you starting Hayden Hurst?
Well, if I didn't have,
know how thin the tight end are out there.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Like I tell you the way I look at it. Like, all right, let me see. Yeah, man, I don't know, bro. I think. On paper all season, because everybody saw what Austin Hooper did last year with Matt Ryan, and Hayden Hurst is just as athletic, if not more athletic than Austin Hooper. It should have been a Hayden Hurst top 5 tight end this year, type of season, but we haven't got that, man. And it's the same thing like I said earlier, man. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you know who suffers the most when Julio Jones doesn't play? It's fucking Hayden Hurst. Mm-hmm. So for me, he's too risky. Now, of course, if that's all I got, then that's a no question. I mean, at least I know for sure. I mean, is he going to get targeted maybe 6-7 times today? Yeah, maybe. But I mean, let me see potentially okay, let's go with what tight ends are probably available in people's leagues. Let's just say a 10-team league. I would say, I tell you right now, who I would start over him every week, Robert Tonyan. All day, Robert Tonyan, because guess what? He gets a 30, a 20 plus air yard target. I think he's had at least one of those, I think for 6 or 7 weeks in a row, bro. So for me, Robert Tonyan over Hurst all day. I like his quarterback a lot better. He gets about, let's just go between 4 and 7 targets a game, but we're talking high volume. And I think he scored a touchdown 3-4 games in a row, y'all. So Robert Tonyan over Hurst, he's probably available in a lot of leagues. You know who else? Logan Thomas. You saw what he did last year or last week? But
Mhm.
he's also been getting a ton of targets all year.
I
They
got
just
him
haven't
started.
turned into a points.
Yep,
But I would start Logan Thomas over Hayden Hurst this week.
I got him
But
started.
I give you one more sneaky one. Y'all ready for this one?
Mhm.
Dalton fucking Schultz. Look what he's done the last 2 weeks with targets too. And then that's the thing. Dalton's a very safe quarterback. I think that's why CeeDee Lamb's been eating. And Dalton Schultz in the last couple weeks, yeah, he hasn't put it in the end zone, but he's had the targets and the yards.
I
So
hear you. So
that's my.
you're sitting Hayden Hurst then, for sure.
Oh hell yeah,
For
hell
sure.
yeah! Because I'm pretty sure 2 of those guys that I just named, I know for sure are available probably in 10-team leagues.
All right, so we're almost at 1 o'clock. I want to get us off here. So let's
Noah Fant.
let's go into our the
Nah,
last
bro.
one quickly for y'all. Josh Jacobs, start sit. Let's not take too much time on this one though.
Yeah, I'll just start. Let's start for sure, man. He's the number one back over there, so I'm definitely starting him against that. Pardon?
Coming off injury,
Off an
playing
injury.
Tennessee, in
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
India, especially with the way that offense is looking, they're going to be looking to contain Darren Waller. So I think that boy Jacob today is going to have. He's been very consistently 10 to 15 running back all season, right? So it doesn't really matter who is playing. He's definitely going to give you 10 to 15 points. He's a power back, man. He's a power back that has a little finesse in his game. So I definitely think he's going to give you. He's not going to have a big game like Alvin Kamara or something like that, but he's going to give you a consistent. I'll flex him, but if you have a better option in regards to matchups, I'll go with a better matchup then, especially going up against his Indian defense. But if it's all you have, yeah, I'll definitely start him. He's gonna.
If
Pardon?
he's so basically you're sitting him. If you have a better,
If I have a better option, I'll sit him. But but he's going to give you, I'd say, with the matchup, 10 to 15 points. If you need it, if you need more, then just go with what you have.
what about you, Tony? What you got?
Nah, I'm sitting him, bro. I don't trust Josh Jacobs off of an injury. They're too good, man. Indianapolis is too good up front, and their linebackers are too good. And you know what, man? Even at a volume, let's just go volume again. Is he gonna get probably 20 carries? Yes, he probably will get 20 carries. I just don't see those 20 carries turning into like a big boom for a run, a big boom for 120 or 130, 130 rushing yards and a touchdown. I think it's going to be a grimy ass 20 where he does like 20 yards, averages like 2.2 yards a carry, 2.5 at 20 carries. That's less than 100 yards. I don't think he gets in the end zone. So I'm going to steer away from Josh Jacobs today. But again, for most people out there, that's probably the best option you have. So I get if you're gonna start him, but for me, I would bench him because maybe you could do better on your flex. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you have, James Robinson available, you have DeAndre Swift available, you have some of these guys. I would, dude, even if I had Josh Jacobs, I would start Swift over him. You know what I mean? And that sounds crazy because like DeAndre Swift, really, but yeah, I like the matchup a lot better. So
Yeah, in
yeah.
PPR, Swift for sure. A standard, no. But in my head, people who drafted Josh Jacobs probably don't have a ton of running backs because you probably drafted them decently high. You had to get receivers, etc. Unless you obviously got people in free agency. I think you have to go Josh Jacobs again. You're putting your best roster on the field. I think they're going to get. We've seen, Indy's defense is good, but they put up a lot of fantasy points as well for the fact that they do get a lot of turnovers. But that doesn't mean that Josh Jacobs not going to get in the end zone per se. So I'm still going Josh Jacobs. I still think you start him. I don't think there's a lot of better options out there, especially you can't go pick someone up in free agency that's going to be a better start than Josh Jacobs, right?
Yeah.
So I'm starting Josh Jacobs. I don't think
I
there's
feel you.
a lot of better options out there, especially as a running back. I get it if he's your flex option, maybe, but it's hard to believe that Josh Jacobs would be anyone's flex option. So truthfully, I think that he's a lot of people's RB2s. I think he's going to play as a solid RB2. He's going to give you a good 15 points. You start Josh Jacobs today because you have to.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. It's tough. If I had some better options, I'd probably sit him. But no, you're right. I think you drafted him. You built your team around that, right? So definitely, my broski. We got
All
what?
right,
2
we got
minutes?
about
3 minutes?
3 minutes left. We'll give you our boom players of the week. We'll give you a player and a defense, a boom defense of the week as well. So let's kick it off with you, Tony. Why don't you start us off with your boom player of the week and your defensive boom of the week?
All right, so my boom player of the week, I think I'm being very biased on this one. It's going to be Calvin Ridley. I know we talked about it earlier in the show, but I think Calvin Ridley is going to get the volume today. I think this Atlanta Chargers game is going to be a fucking I got it 34 type of points, maybe like 28, 35 type of game. I think both teams score a lot of points. I think just at a sheer volume and passing attack that we're going to see today, I think Justin Herbert gets right, and I think he's going to put pressure on Atlanta to put up points. So I think Calvin Ridley, I think he gets about 15 targets today, guys. I think it's 15 targets. I think he takes one of those slants to the house because I know we've seen him a few times just shoestring tackled. I think Calvin Ridley is going to have a game like similar to week 1 and 2, 29, 25 fantasy points at a sheer volume. He's going to make some plays. I think his team needs him to make plays. The weather's beautiful in Florida right now. So yeah, man, I'm going Calvin Ridley's going to boom. He's going to boom. And I think he's going to help me win my playoff matchup today. My boom defense, I'm going to go with Indianapolis. I know the matchup on paper doesn't seem good against Las Vegas, we just talked about. But one thing I love about this team is that they create turnovers. They create a lot of turnovers and they get after the quarterback. And I feel like as good as Derek Carr has been, no, I understand that they do have a decent O-line, but Derek Carr is beatable. I think when you take away Waller, I think they'll really, they won't let Josh Jacobs go too crazy. I think it's going to be one of those games where Derek Carr is going to have to put in a lot of work. I think he's going to hold on to the ball a few times more than he should. Maybe not he should because he probably has to, because Indianapolis also plays really decent secondary. I'm going to go Derek Carr throws. He throws a pick, but I think he gets sacked, maybe 3 times. But Derek Carr turns the ball over twice. So I got Indianapolis. I think they'll score you about 15 fantasy points today. And in that matchup, I think that's pretty big, man, for sure.
I like it. What about you, Daryl?
So my boom player of the week, I think, is this guy right here is due for a big game. He's due for a big week. He has just been coasting, just in the last couple of weeks. Christian Kirk. I think Christian Kirk is due for a big game, especially he's not getting those targets going up against that Giants offense, that Giants defense today, which is going to be very keen on D-Hop. I think Christian Kirk is going to find the end zone twice his game, just like he was early in the season when he was hot. So I personally believe that he's going to get hot this game.
I love that, bro. You're so right. I think, man, Kirk could have a game today.
He could have a game
at a volume.
And then my boom defense, I got to go with that Broncos, man. The Broncos defense has been balling all season. It's just that they don't have the offense to accommodate that defense. So especially, I'm limbo between the Broncos defense and the Bears and the Bears defense, but with the Broncos defense, definitely. I think they're due for a big
the Bears. You're right though. Bears not a bad pick today, man. I think it's gonna be an ugly 20 to like 21 type of game. A lot of turnovers today over there. I'm with 100%. You, bro. I'm with you, Jordan. Who you got, bro?
For me, bro, I'm going with one that I don't know if a lot of people are gonna agree with or think with, but DeAndre Baker. I think he has a great chance to put his name for himself today as all these running backs are out.
Please tell everybody who that is because most people don't even know who that is, bro.
Running back for Miami Dolphins that's kind of going to be in there.
Oh, good pickup, yeah.
I'm a big fan of the players like this and the option and the opportunities they have. I think a lot of them will take advantage of it. I also like the idea of them playing KC. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that they're going to have to throw the ball a fair bit, and I think that this guy's going to, in a PPR league, he's going to get a lot of receptions in the backfield, as Tua does like to check the ball down as well. So I truthfully think he's going to have a big game. He's my boom player of the week. That's not one that's, out of the ordinary, like obviously like Devontae Adams, etc. And then for defense, I'm going with Carolina Panthers against Denver. Drew Lock loves to turn the ball over. Denver's offense is not that great. They're trying to figure it. They're still trying to get their things in order. Carolina's defense has been really well played really well the last couple of weeks. They're turning the ball over. They're scoring touchdowns. I don't think that stops here. I'm giving them a touchdown. I'm thinking we get 2 or 3 turnovers, 1 touchdown from the Carolina Panthers defense, and I think they're going to save a lot of people's fantasy weeks this week.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Before we get off air, Brett Lewis, man, if you're watching, Goddard or Duke Johnson, guys, you want to jump in that real quick, 30 seconds?
Duke Johnson. I'm not trusting Dallas Goddard. I'm not really trusting anyone first week of the playoffs that on that Philly offense. I know Duke Johnson's going to get the volume. He's going to get the volume as a running back. He's going to get the volume as a pass catcher because of, how their options that they have there. I don't know if it's too late for you. I'm hoping you can still put him in there. So I'm going Duke Johnson over Goddard all day.
All day.
100%.
Me too, bro. Me too. Hell yeah. All right, my brothers. It is playoff time, and the kickoff is ready. So, my brothers, let's fucking watch some football. Good luck. Hopefully, us 3 move on. The TDS crew moves on in our playoff matchups, baby. But for everybody out there, thanks for watching. We appreciate y'all. It's your boy TG.
It's your boy Jordan. Let's go. Let's get it.
Peace out, my bros.